So how's your front lawn doing during this drought? We want to give us your comments tonight as we welcome you inside the air-conditioned confines of the Channel 13 studios. Good place to hang out, Felicia.
Yeah, absolutely. The best place to hang out is going to be inside anywhere you can get. Yesterday we prayed for these air conditioning units. We will continue to do just that.
All right, we also have a couple of other questions we want to ask you about. We're going to talk about the Colts. They've got a partnership with Marvel, so we want to know what is your favorite Marvel character, and do you see a Marvel character aligning with a Colts player? Let us know about that. Also, what is on Channel 13 right now is the January 6th committee hearing. Have you been watching this? Have you been watching it tonight? What do you think about it? Do you care? Do you not care? What are your thoughts and feelings on that? Put that in the comments section. And again, let us know how your front lawn is doing during this drought. So let's go ahead and begin as we do every 10 o'clock. I know. Well, you know, people may care about one thing, not care about another, but
just check the boxes for all the things. Fill in the bubble. I imagine that there'll probably be a lot of people that say they don't care about the January 6th committee.
We'll see.
However, I think it's important to know what's going on, folks.
We're going to be covering it tonight at 11. Let's go ahead and begin our evening as we always do together by talking about the weather. And Angela nailed the forecast. She told us last night, hey, it's going to be hot, but it's not going to feel as bad. And that's exactly what we experienced today.
Yeah, I think as you stepped out this morning, even in this afternoon and this evening, it wasn't that oppressive, I can't breathe because it's so muggy heat. We're going to talk to Rachel, who loves the heat, in a few minutes. She probably liked today, or yesterday, and today.
Right.
But for those of us that don't like it too humid, yesterday was pretty oppressive, and there was a little relief today. But the muggy meter's going to climb, temperatures are going to climb as we head into the weekend, as our little heat wave continues. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon should be a couple of degrees hotter than what we had today. 72 at 8 a.m., 84 noon temperature, and we'll be in the low 90s for highs for your Friday forecast. Now, we're actually going to be on the edge of the highest heat, believe it or not. And on the edge of that heat, oftentimes during the summertime, we get these complexes of storms developing. This one looks to arrive after midnight as we get into later Friday night and early Saturday. If it holds together, we get a couple of thunderstorms late Friday night into early Saturday. So just something to keep in the back of your mind as we kick off the weekend. Obviously, the biggest weather story this weekend will be the heat, forecasting 97 both Saturday and Sunday, with feels like temperatures topping 100.
Oh, wow.
She said hot, and hot.
That's that air you can wear.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. We'll get back to Angela in a moment, talk a little bit more about your weekend forecast as we all get ready on what Felicia likes to call Friday Junior, right? That's what we call Thursday nights, right?
Yeah, happy to be here, but I would be happier if it was just Friday.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and turn our discussion to the big story tonight. And friend of the show, Rachel Krause, back with us again because we're talking about the abortion ban bill that the Indiana Senate has put out. And tonight we're really looking at some of the language that is out there and really trying to distinguish between health of the mother and life of the mother, right?
Yeah, and doctors say that what is currently in the legislation that the Indiana Senate Republicans have proposed is really murky. It's not clear. And I want to read the language exactly here. And it says doctors can intervene when, quote, the abortion is necessary to prevent a substantial permanent impairment of the life of the mother. So when it comes to health of the mother and life of the mother, doctors say there's not really clear distinctions. If you're dealing with a health issue like preeclampsia, that is very concerning. It can be fatal to both mother and child. And typically in medicine, you would want to intervene and help the mother before the condition becomes so serious that it does threaten her life, as long as you spot it early on. But now, under this clear language, they are not sure if they will be able to legally intervene that early on without being punished. And the abortion legislation that is being proposed by Senate Republicans does indicate that if abortion is performed illegally, not to their exact terms that they've written out in this law, a doctor can have their license revoked. So there's a lot of fear right now from doctors that are saying, if I think under my best medical training, judgment, and previous experience with pregnant women under these health conditions, I am acting to save their life, and somebody later comes out and says, no, that was too soon, you shouldn't have done that, they could lose their medical license. They say it's really concerning. It's going to have a very chilling effect on doctors. And we've started to see that all around the country where those trigger laws have been put into place, where those strict abortion bans have been put into place. Doctors are scared to act for the threat and the health of the mother, and it's putting them in extreme pain. It's putting them in a lot of uncertainty. And they're counting on lawmakers to really talk about clarity when they start that special session next week. They say they can't just give you a list of conditions because every pregnancy, every person, every health issue is very different. Medical care is very nuanced, and they say that they need to really look at that very clearly because there's so much gray area here. And if they don't get it exactly right, women will die.
Well, I love that you're doing this story in general, but this goes back to what we talked about yesterday, there being different scenarios, I mean, than you can even think of, and each case has to be looked at differently. So, which is why it's kind of difficult to have one broad stroke law, but I guess we'll see what they end up doing next week in the special session.
Yeah, and doctors say they are prepared to be very vocal and very upfront when talking to lawmakers and talking to the public, because they say this is something that a lot of people's lives are really going to depend on, and they want to make sure they are doing the best that they can for pregnant Hoosiers.
It's going to be very interesting. We're going to be covering this story here over the next couple of weeks as the Indiana lawmakers decide exactly what to do with this potential abortion ban. So Rachel will have more on her story coming up tonight on 13 News at 11. Let's go ahead and shift gears and talk a little bit more about the drought conditions, because I think everybody knows what their front lawn is looking like. I mean, we had this great soaking rain that happened over on the weekend. Sunday was brilliant to see all that rain.
Absolutely.
But now here we are on Thursday night, haven't really had a drop since then, and now we're starting to see those lawns brown up again.
Yes, and I've got a new drought monitor just came in today, so I'm going to have that updated information at 11.
Okay.
And no surprise, we're still dry even with all of that rain.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of that, Dustin Grove wanted to go out tonight and find out how often should we go ahead and water our lawns, and are there anything else that we can do to help keep our lawns alive? Here's Dustin's report.
Take a drive through just about any neighborhood this summer and you'll quickly see our lawns are living out the definition of a drought.
Crispy grass.
Cale Bigelow has studied turf and how much it can take for 20 years at Purdue University's College of Agriculture. The good news?
Lawns are extremely resilient. They can recover.
It's not dead, but it is likely dormant. Think of this year's drought as a boxing match for your lawn.
So sometimes you can take that first big punch from someone like Mike Tyson, but those repeated punches, it's going to take a lot more energy to come back from that, right?
Day after day of heat and humidity and too little rain means you may want to consider giving your lawn a drink.
How often should I be watering my lawn?
That's a huge question.
If you like your lawn like a golf course, water every other day.
But the reality is 2 to 3 times a week is sort of the rule of thumb.
Also, make sure to feed your lawn with nitrogen fertilizer to help it regrow. And lastly, if you want grass that tends to hold up better in a drought, Bigelow says overseed with this stuff, turf-type tall fescue. You can see the difference in their outdoor lab.
Those grasses are going to tolerate these acute drought events and stay greener longer.
Helpful hints to keep your grass healthy and growing green.
All right, so there you go. 2 to 3 times a week for the drinks.
Okay.
And fertilize, and then overseed with the fescue.
For the drink.
Yeah, I found that interesting. The lab, you could clearly see what's growing and what's not growing in this drought. I found that really fascinating.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. It's great advice for the grass, but what about all these weeds? These weeds, they're getting plenty of rain.
Yeah,
they're getting plenty of water.
The weeds tend to do that, don't they?
Oh, man. That's what's out of
Harder,
control.
better, faster, stronger.
That's what's out of control in my yard.
Like everybody, I think. Pretty clear from the comments that we're getting tonight that at least the viewers who are tuning in don't care about the January 6th committee hearing. They do care about the grass.
Okay.
And so just to kind of give, Teresa says our front lawn is doing great. They water our grass in the evening at our complex.
All right.
Renita saying my front lawn is brown and crunchy. I drove to Madison County today to pick up my grandchildren, and I saw water standing in the fields.
Yeah, they got hit
Because
really,
they did get
really
hit, didn't
hard.
they?
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Several inches of rain, like
I
4,
wish we
5,
could
6
just
inches of rain.
spread this out.
Right, evenly.
Preferably, yeah.
Because they didn't want to get that much rain and deal with flooding.
Right, amongst everyone and the days. All
Yes.
that rain on Sunday, we needed that spread throughout the week.
Yeah, that was pretty
Don't
good
wish away
soaking
my
rain.
sunshine.
No, just a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
just to mix it in. To mix it in.
I mean, if it wants
Not
to
the
rain at
whole
3
day.
in the morning, okay.
Yes.
I'll take
See?
the rain whenever we can get it at
Yes.
this point. Joyce says she's in
Compromise.
for sales. She says her grass is green. So Joyce,
Okay, nice.
whatever Joyce is doing, it's working because her.
They've had some rains, and I don't believe Versailles is under the drought monitor at this point, but.
And then in terms of the January 6th committee hearing that's underway right now on Channel 13, Kelly says, "Do not care!" exclamation point. And we had one other viewer, Dan Rockel, "Do not care!" 2 exclamation points.
Okay.
So there you
You know
go.
what exclamation points mean?
That's right.
Serious.
Stop yelling at us. Stop.
All right, Marvel announced today that Marvel and the Colts have a relationship this season. I don't know if you're a Marvel fan, because you've got, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Deadpool, Thor. These are some of the characters. So anyway, here's what's happening. Colts and Marvel with a partnership during the 2022 season. Marvel artists are going to turn a handful of players, cheerleaders, and even the mascot, Blue, into superheroes based on their unique traits and personality. So based on the Marvel characters I've just listed, what do you think for Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, Michael Pittman Jr., Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor? Any ideas?
All right.
Okay.
Put them in the comment section.
Okay, Matt Ryan. Who would Matt Ryan be?
Captain America.
That makes the most sense.
I'm not very good with my Marvel people.
I'm not either.
I'm not very good with my
Okay.
football players.
Yeah. Now Quentin Nelson feels like Thor. Because
Yeah.
he's this huge.
Sure, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Take a
of
live
course.
look at
The hammer.
Lucas Oil Stadium. I mean, he's this huge offensive lineman. It feels like that might be Thor.
Yeah.
gonna give-
But would it be Hulk?
Well, could be Hulk too.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Does he often look green?
So who would be, my question is, who would be Deadpool? Like, that's a hard one to place.
Don't know.
That would have to be a running back or a
Jonathan
receiver.
Taylor, right?
Jonathan Taylor, that's a good
the
one.
It had to be a receiver.
I like that one.
So-
Okay.
We could give Iron Man to Blue.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Just be nice.
They put on suits.
Rachel, you got any thoughts on those?
I couldn't even tell you who any of those players are, and
Okay.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, but here we are.
It's okay.
Look at Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. They've got a big press conference coming up here at the end of the month. Colts have their training camp that begins at Grand Park in less than a week.
Does Wolverine have a lot of facial hair?
Yes, Hugh
Okay, so-
Jackman, and he is very
So
handsome.
which one of these?
Very handsome.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, facial
so
hair.
Don't
Hugh
know.
Jackman.
It's not
Big
Ryan
fan.
and it's not Jonathan Taylor.
Let's see what our friends are saying. Well, they're not really saying anything about this
Okay.
subject yet.
They don't
Though
care either.
Rachel is now joining us tonight. So Rachel, good to have you with us.
Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Not this Rachel?
We have now
Another
this
Rachel.
That's a
Rachel and
Spider-Man
another
situation.
Yeah.
Rachel. Okay. All right. So.
Are they all pointing at each other? You know
It's
the
a meme.
meme.
We're talking about memes over here.
It was on point. It was Marvel. It was Marvel related.
Okay,
Wow.
I believe it.
Okay. We trust you, and we trust you in the forecast. How's it going to be tomorrow?
Sunny and hot. Temperatures in the low 90s tomorrow. We're middle and upper 90s for the weekend. Slight storm chance both Saturday, Sunday. And these are difficult to time complexes, so we'll keep you updated on the
Okay.
timeline.
It's Friday Junior. You feeling good,
Yay.
Felicia?
She's better.
Thursday night is Friday
Applause.
It was
Junior.
nice to have a hand at the news.
Applause.
All right, so Rachel, Angela, Felicia, and I will both all be with you tonight in about 45 minutes over on Channel 13 once the January 6th committee hearing is over. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.